Welcome to Healing is My Hobby, and welcome to our Healing Lab segment, where each month I test real-life practices to see what actually supports emotional healing. This month's experiment, auditing your self-labels. We've spent 3 weeks on identity this month. We've looked at where it comes from, we sorted out our roles, and asked some hard questions about which ones we actually chose. Today's experiment is the next step, and it's simpler than you might expect. But don't let that fool you, because simple isn't the same as easy. Here's what I want you to do, either right now or as an experiment you carry into this week. For the next 7 days, I want you to notice every time you describe yourself with a fixed label. A fixed label sounds like this. I'm just not a person who. I've never been good at. That's just how I am. I'm not the kind of person who. I don't do that. A lot of times will hear clients say things like, I'll never forget that. I'm never going to forgive that person. Anytime we're also using kind of like always, never, that indicates some black and white thinking and some distortions as well. Anyway, every time you catch yourself saying one of those phrases out loud or in your head, I want you to pause and ask one question. Is that true, or is that adapted? Remember, adapted are roles that were given to you by your family, your culture, your birth order, your gender, expectations that were in place, or roles you took on because you had to. They kept you safe. They kept the peace. They helped you belong or avoid conflict or earn love. They did something important for you, but you never consciously signed up for them. Asking yourself, is this actually who I am? Or is this who I learned to be? Here's the clinical principle underneath this experiment. It's called narrative therapy, and it comes from the research of psychologist Dan McAdams. The idea is that the stories we tell ourselves, the ones we repeat, literally become the self we inhabit. When you say, I'm not someone who asks for help, when you say that enough times, you stop trying to ask for help, not because you can't, but because the story has become the fact. This experiment is about catching the story before it becomes permanent, holding it up to the light and asking, is this actually mine, or did I inherit it? And then, and this is the stretch goal for this week, if the answer is inherited or adapted, I want you to try a small rewrite. Not a dramatic declaration, not I'm a totally different person now. Just a small, honest rewrite. Instead of, I'm not someone who asks for help, maybe it's, I'm learning that asking for help is safe. Instead of, I'm just someone who takes care of everyone, maybe it's, I take care of others really well, and I'm still learning how to take care of myself too. This is small, true, and a little more spacious than the original. And here's what this experiment tends to surface. Some labels will feel totally neutral. You'll hold them up, ask the question, and think, yeah, that one's actually mine. I like this about myself. And you keep it. That's important. The goal isn't to tear down everything. It's to get intentional. Because some labels, especially the ones you've been carrying the longest, might feel tight, constricting, like a sweater that fit you when you were 12. Those are the ones we want to get curious about. Some labels might carry a charge, history, some grief. If that happens, if you pull on a thread and something unexpected comes up, that's okay. That's actually the work. You don't have to fix it this week. Just notice it. Maybe write it down. The Healing Lab is never about getting it right. It's about getting honest. This week, just notice the stories. Ask if they're true or adapted. Try one small rewrite if you feel ready. And next week, we will be wrapping up season 1. I will see you then. If you'd like to read my blog or stay up to date, you can sign up for the newsletter at healingismyhobby.com. You can follow me on Instagram at healingismyhobby or on YouTube at healingismyhobby. And if you would like to know more about my clinical practice, you can visit jessicacalarco.lcsw.com or follow me on Instagram at jessicacalarco.lcsw. Remember, you are worth it.